Yes, so we have Professor Satdev here. So, so we'll be taking the sessions regarding the online quiz, which is going to happen on Sunday. If you have any doubts or like if you want any tips, you can ask sir. Okay?
Ram, I would like you to be online, especially with doubts regarding the platform.
Yes, sir. So I'll be online during this entire session, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
okay.
any questions about how many times you are able to submit and all? I'll just redirect to you. Okay.
Yeah. So before we begin, right? So I just want to reiterate this. So if you have like any doubts regarding the portal and like how the exam is going to happen, you can just wait for the next session, which is going to happen from 7 to 9, right? So regarding the subject, if you have any doubts or like you want any tips regarding like how you want to proceed for the exam, regarding that you can ask professor. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Sir, is there a mock test today for Python from 4 to 6?
I think there is a link that Ram shared, right?
Yes. Yeah.
There is a
So
there is a mock test. Yeah.
yeah.
So you can take, and I don't think the score will be used. It is just to get familiar with the process of coding and submission.
So how to
Yeah.
join it? Because I have not received any link through email.
We haven't received the link, sir.
I think you should be receiving the link soon. Okay.
So we can post it as an announcement. I think everybody should get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll send it so that you receive it by 4 o'clock.
So one more thing, and yeah, let's wait for others to join. So we see we have only 37 students. I think others might be joining soon. So let's wait till 2 more minutes, and after that we can begin the session. Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
So just a confirmation that when SIA runs the command, the 200 files are passed, that means SIA is working fine, right?
So okay. So Kumkum Patra. So regarding this, right? Yeah. When the CI app runs, then that means it is working fine. And moreover, if you have any doubts, right, regarding the portal, like on the day of the exam, right, you can join like on time. Okay. And you can ask the proctor to check like whether everything is working fine or not. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
it's fine, sir.
you can raise the question today also in case other people have some doubt. But yeah, the answer I will direct Ram to answer these questions. That's all.
So regarding this portal and everything, I'll be answering. And regarding the Python, and regarding tips for that, so the prof will be answering.
Yeah.
And it's better to use this time, right? Since we have from 3 to 4, we have like 1 hour period where prof person will be available. We'll use this time for asking doubts regarding the Python. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding the CR and everything, right? We will discuss from 7 to 9. We have one more session there, evening, right? So we'll discuss it then. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, for the mock, we should have camera, all the stuff.
No, I don't think that is required. It is just for getting familiar with the platform, with submission and all. Yeah, it's not. It is not proctored. That's my understanding. Yeah, the link for the mock will be sent maybe in half an hour or 45 minutes. Yeah.
So any other questions you have like regarding the Python physics and how the questions are gonna be? You can ask.
So how many questions we can expect, like in a span of 1.5 hours?
So 4 questions is what we have planned. So you can do the calculation. So 90 by 4, around 22.5 minutes, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around that in India.
Yeah, and let me assure you that I've looked through the questions, at least half the questions, and the code is quite short. So I would say that less than 20 to 30 lines of code. Of course,
Sir, regarding mock, I have not received any mail.
Yeah, it has not been sent. We will send it soon.
Okay,
So
so what is the
I think-
timing of mock?
I
It
think
is
4
from
to
6.
4 to 6.
4 to 6 today only, no,
Yeah.
sir?
Yeah, today. Okay.
Okay, sir. So by when
But
should I expect?
by 3:30, 3:45, it should be done.
Okay, sure, sir.
Sir, any Google Meet link will be shared, sir, for the mock?
No, it is only your private. You can do it
Okay.
on your own.
Okay,
The
sure.
link and the instructions, if at all that was required, it will be shared to you soon.
So there is no marks for if the public cases pass. We have to pass all the private cases, right?
You have to pass the private case. Basically, the public cases are given so that you are confident of your submission. Okay, because some problems, some problems are subtle. So you may want to test the all public cases are passing before submitting that thing.
But like the normal portal, we won't be able to see the private cases. It's gonna be
You
hidden.
won't be able to see the private cases. Now, one thing I'm not sure, I'll ask Ram about this, that do you instantaneously see the score of the submission, or is it only after the exam? That part I'm not sure. Because
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
Sir, will the questions in the test will of the same level as the mock? Will it be of the same level?
Yeah, it will be similar. Yeah,
Okay.
it will be similar.
And how many times we can submit each question?
I think unlimited number of times. So that part, Ram, are you there?
Yes, yes, sir.
So you can submit unlimited number of times, right?
Yeah. So you can submit unlimited number of times, but what happens is the last submission, it will be taken into account for grading.
Yeah,
So
and
make sure that your last submission it passes most number of cases, private cases.
And from previous experience, I don't know how stable the platform is right now, but previous experiences with online exams, don't wait until the last minute to submit. Because if everybody submits at the last minute, maybe things could get hanged. So make sure that you submit questions one by one as you complete it, so that at the end there is no big rush and the server has some problems. Because unlimited submissions are there, so you don't need to worry. You can always come back and correct the submission if you want.
So sir, we will be given the scores according to how many private cases that has passed.
Yeah.
And
Good
also
afternoon,
actually during the SCT testing session, we were asked to log into the Google Meet through the laptop as well, like mobile and the system as well. So is it necessary that we have to log in through Google Meet from the laptop as well?
Yeah. So you need to log in both from the laptop as well as mobile, right? Whatever instructions that was mentioned in the mail, please go through it, and because that's what you need to follow. Okay, all those instructions must be followed. Okay, or else we might hold this course off. Okay, because
yes, like because I'm asking this because during the instructor session, the other people said that no, we have not been asked to do that. Only only in our session, like few members.
Yeah, from our session, no one told us to log in both. We were just told.
So that's what. So please go through the instructions, because depending on situation, right? Previously we asked you to switch on both the laptop as well as mobile cameras, and in the other scenarios we just let this Google Meet from laptop be not mandatory. So that's why please go through the instructions that was mentioned and follow it accordingly. And please ask proctor that whether you're following all the instructions properly or not. Okay.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I have problem running SIA on my laptop because I have Windows 8.1. So it was written that if anyone has older version of operating system, then link will be shared and we can do local recording. So can you please guide me regarding this?
Yes. So I will help you regarding. So you need to use this VLC for local recording, and so how you do it, it will mention to you. I'll explain to you like clearly from the seminar. Okay, because this session, right? Let us use for this specific points like regarding the Python exam, like the problems and like how to solve those. Okay. The regarding the requirements of it, like the environment requirements, that I will discuss in detail from 7 to 9. Okay.
Okay, and like, will I be given a link regarding this for the exam?
Yeah. It will be given to you.
Okay, and there will be a Google form also, so that I can share the recording of the desktop.
Yes.
And
Once the exam is complete, you need to upload that recording. Yes.
okay, so okay, and are we allowed to keep blank sheets for rough work during the exam?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is the right way.
Okay.
So do we need to run CIF
Thank you,
during
sir.
this test?
No, you don't need to.
It's just for the practice of kind of questions we are going to face in the final exam, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody in
Yeah,
right.
may I comment something, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, actually there was a query like we need to open that Gmeet on both laptop and mobile. So it would be like we need to open that on mobile only, because if we open it on our laptop, then SIA will not work actually, because SIA can use your webcam only if no other app is using it.
Actually, we have
So
to open the SIA on the laptop and Google Meet on the phone, so that phone can record us while.
right, exactly.
Yes.
So sorry, can I
that
interrupt? The C app is running well when I'm joining with Google Meet in phone and laptop and all this stuff. It was
no,
working.
it will work if you switch off your camera on Google Meet. But if you open your camera on both, then it will not
The
work.
two devices at the same time can't use the camera, no?
Right.
So can I
So
ask a programming question?
Yeah.
So like I struggle sometimes in calling the function when the function is not provided. Like in some questions you might have seen that the function is not provided to us and we have to just call it blindly. So in that sort of questions I kind of struggle.
Can you give a concrete, because this is too general?
Okay, so for example, like in the mock, there was a question OPP is 6, as I remember. There we have to call a function, but the function was not.
Okay. So you're given a description of a function that this is the input and this is the output, and you have to use it without knowing the code. Is
So
that
yeah, so just that sort of questions I've kind of struggled with.
So I think this is something that first of all, I don't remember seeing such questions in the mock exam, because this is a programming test, and in the actual thing, it's a programming test, and you are supposed to write the function rather than call some other function. The only functions that are
questions want to write.
Not for the programming test, if I remember. Ram can comment on this.
Yes. So
Yeah,
you do not have any such questions, but you might be required to write a function on your own. Okay, you won't be calling any functions that you do not know what the function does. Okay.
Yeah. So the only functions you will call are standard Python library functions. So, but the other thing that the actual question that you asked, you have to get familiar with it, because a lot of the times, real world programming, you will get a library. You don't have the source code of that library. You may be buying it from a vendor or something, and they will only tell you that these are the input parameters and these are the outputs and these are the errors that you might get. And the only way is, you read the documentation, or you do it by trial and error. Try to give a few inputs and see how you can interpret the output. Trial and error is, either reading the documentation or trial and error is the only way, because sometimes you don't get the source code. You just get some library.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
sir, my question is, a bit trivial kind of thing. Hello, sir, am I audible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hello, sir, am I audible?
Yeah. You're audible. Yeah.
Sir, the kind of questions, programming questions which we get in our graded assignment or PT, so are they really meant for first-time learner? The difficulty level, because I'm learning it for the first time, or are they, because there are many people who are practitioner and who know coding, but I'm learning for the first time. So that's why this question came to my mind. Are they really meant for first-time learner, or the standard is slightly on the higher side?
So we'll try to moderate it if you feel. So I encourage you to write specifically. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, so I encourage you to write specifically on the forum to say like which questions you are having trouble with. I mean, the issue, as far as I understand this, is that if normally NPTEL courses and things like that are meant for engineering students or science students, whereas these POD courses are meant for a general audience, which may include high school students.
Not audible.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah.
You're audible.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. So one of the issues is that some of the questions may involve mathematics that people may not know. So I encourage you to write issues with specific questions, and we'll look into it and either try to give more explanations or replace the questions. Yeah. So matrix type of questions, for example, may not be familiar to people from non-math backgrounds. I mean, by non-math, I mean people who are not doing science or engineering, these kind of things. So if you feel that this question requires background, see, one thing is background and the other thing is programming. So if you feel that this background is something that you don't have, then please point out the question in the forum, and then we'll try to either add more explanation or we'll try to suggest some alternative questions.
Sir, background is one aspect. You rightly said background is one aspect, but honestly speaking, all those things are being taught to us in maths and other things.
Okay,
also, right?
okay,
But
okay.
I'm saying for the difficulty level, the kind like we are getting one page of questions, some very lengthy questions. So that
No,
from
this
that
is some.
direction.
Yeah, I will try to, because as a teacher also in I'm saying in Kanpur when I teach, this is something that I make sure that questions are not lengthy, because this is not a stamina test. I mean, so we'll try to see at the same time it has to cover all the cases so that people do not get confused and write wrong answers. But at the same time, so yeah, I mean, at least for the exams, I'm going through the questions carefully and make sure that you don't have to read 1 page or 1.5 page of explanation before you start coding. Okay, so that is something that, because I know that in the exam pressure, when the problem with a long question is that some subtle point you may miss. Okay. So I'll make sure that at least for the, I mean, it's difficult for me to go through all the questions, including practice problems, but at least for the exams and the quizzes and all that, I'll make sure that all questions are kind of short and easily understandable.
Sir, I have a doubt. Can we access help pages in the exam?
So Ram can answer that. I think you can.
What? Can you repeat?
Can you access help pages?
Like help and that command.
Documentation.
Yeah.
And help.
Sorry, so like during the exam, you will not be able to access. So what happens is during the exam, whatever tab you open, right? So that tab you cannot be moving away from it, especially in the laptop. Okay. So if you go away from it, that will be considered as a violation, and that will be recorded in this year. Okay. So please make sure that while you are like before you can revise obviously, but during the exam, make sure that you are in the exam portal itself and you do not move away from it. Okay.
Okay, clear.
So yeah. Okay, so somewhere in the chat box there was a Python command, Python question. So I'll just clear the something
Excuse
about
me, sir.
yeah.
Sir, one doubt regarding the errors in the dashboard. So what happens in the dashboard? We get errors and we can't generally recognize that at what point we are mistaken, because it's like we can't understand actually what the error is in our coding. So, sir, any suggestions about that? Because it's like EOF, EOL, and all that terms we are not familiar with. So we can't understand in the dashboard like what at what point we are making mistakes. So if you can guide me through this.
So I mean, I don't have any specific suggestion for the exam, because exam is a controlled environment. But generally, whenever you encounter error strings, I mean, I think you're talking about error strings. That what the Python. Yeah, Python interpreter will give you some error, and you may not be able to interpret why it yeah, what is the meaning with respect to your program? So the best thing to do is to copy paste that string exactly into Google. And I mean, this is unfortunately, I mean, earlier on, I would, in the 90s, the way to do it would be to, go through the Python documentation and try to figure out and things like that. Now, I think you can accomplish it much shorter if you just copy paste the error string as it is into Google. Usually, there will be websites like Stack Exchange which will tell you exactly what is going wrong, even without knowing your code, because certain error strings come only with certain kind of errors, and then based on that documentation, that answer, you can just look at your code. And yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that you should you always encounter when you learn any language, any programming language. Somehow the errors are somewhat strange. So if you program in Java, it will just tell you null pointer exception, and then or null object or something like that, and that may not have any direct relevance to your program. So you have to figure out one of the ways. By the way, just a minute. Just to finish this question, one of the ways you can try to debug a program is to insert exit statements in between. Okay, especially in Python. Okay, in other languages there are other things that you should do, but in Python, what you can do is, suppose your program has 7 lines, and your program just crashed. You don't know where it crashed because the error message was very strange. What you can do is, after line 1, you put an exit statement. Okay, so if line 1 executed and no error came, then you know that, okay, line 1 must be okay. Okay, then you do it after line 2, and so on. Okay, so you can kind of pinpoint which line is causing the problem, and then try to guess it. And this is this kind of focusing on the line that is causing the error. This you can do in any language, and without any help or documentation, because it's like saying that I know that my program is perfect up to line 3, and then maybe line 4 is what is causing the problem, and then I can look at line 4 itself. So that's something that.
But sir,
Hello,
how
sir.
to insert that exit function?
Exit. I'll show you. Okay, so maybe I'll. Okay, just a minute. I think I'll finish this question because I think it may be relevant to many people. So somebody had asked about this thing, tuple unpacking. Okay, and the way to unpack a tuple is, yeah, I can write it as A comma B comma C equal to hello, welcome, namaste. And so once I type this, basically what it will do is A will be hello, B will be welcome, and C will be namaste. Okay, so the way to unpack a tuple is to do this. On the left hand side also, you have equal number of variables as the number of fields in the tuple. Okay, so the tuple had 3 elements, and then the field, there are 3 variables on the left side. Okay. Okay, so how do you do with respect to this inserting exit, right? Okay, let me just show you. Okay, so this is a program that so one person has said that when private test cases fail, we remain clueless unless the question provides us adequate information. This is true. I mean, Ram can confirm that one of the things I did suggest was that the public test cases are more informative. So the public test cases, give you a clue as to what the private test cases are looking for. So I'm not saying that it is guaranteed 100% that if you pass all public test cases, then you will pass all private test cases. But I'm trying to make sure that the public test cases are more and they will cover the cases that the private cases are also looking for.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Regarding
Yeah, sorry, multiple people. Yeah, one person.
yes, sir. So regarding the public and private cases, I came across a situation where all my private cases got passed, okay, and public cases did not. So are they mutually exclusive? So I had this doubt.
They are mutually exclusive. The public cases and the private cases are separate.
Because I used to think because private are passing, so public must be encompassed within it. That is not the case.
No. Yeah, that is not the case. They are separate cases.
Okay.
So can you use Python libraries in the exam? Yes. If the interpreter is running the code, then it is allowed.
But one thing I would comment on this is you can use it, but please try to avoid that, especially NumPy, because NumPy in our Python interpreter it does not work properly. But others you can use. Okay. Other libraries you can use.
Okay.
Please try to avoid that too, because we encourage you to code like on your own without using libraries. Thanks.
Yeah, but standard list functions you can use. So the one person has asked what happens if I suddenly lose the internet connection. So I think you should be able to reconnect, right?
Yeah, you should be able to reconnect. And make
yeah,
sure
you can just relog in and then continue from where you left.
So can you explain this part, like exit function inserting?
Yeah. So I was about to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just. So this is a code that I had intended as kind of a demo. Okay. I hope you can see. This is an editor I'm using. Don't worry about the environment and things like that. Okay, I'll just simplify it. And then okay. Now I'll just explain what is the context. I mean, this is what I mean by inserting exit in between, in the sense that you know that there is a lot of code after that, but I just want to test this a little bit and just want to make sure that things are kind of working. Okay. So what I do is I write. So let's not focus on what the code is doing right now. Let's just what I want to say is that basically I want to make sure that I've written a function and that function is executing reasonably. Okay, I just want to test it before I proceed. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take an input which is called the guest string, and then I'll call the function. I'll call my function and I'll print the result, and then I will immediately exit. This is what I mean by typing exit in between. Basically, the program will just quit. Okay, so let me just show what that is doing. Okay, so I'll share this window and I'll just execute it.
Exit is the command.
Exit is a function, yeah. It's a command, yeah. So
why is the argument 1 in the exit function?
Oh, that, okay. I'm not sure whether the argument is 1. Let me just check. Maybe I think I should have 0. Just exit with brackets without argument 1. Okay. So Wordle check dot. Okay, so it's doing something and it's exiting. Okay. Because if I don't do this, suppose I comment this, I comment this out. Okay, then you'll see that it is actually waiting for multiple inputs. Okay, so I'll say and so on. Okay, so it's looking for a 5-letter string. That's why I got an error. But the point is that it went beyond. Earlier, I was able to input only one string. But if I run the full code, then I can enter multiple strings. Okay, so I'll just okay. So what is the function doing? Okay, this is just a demo that I had for this session. Let me just go back. Okay, so it's a small game. So these days there is something called Wordle, which I'm sure some of you have played at least. So basically what it is, it will, basically you have to guess a 5-letter word, if I'm not wrong. And initially you don't know the word. So in my code, I have coded the secret word directly. It's lemon. And then the user can guess. A user can enter a guess string, which is a 5-letter string. And then if you have played Wordle, you know that depending on, so if you have got the correct letter at the correct position, you will get that it will show as green. If you get a correct letter, but it is not in the correct position, it will show some color, orange or something. And then if you have got a wrong letter, that is not present in the original word, it will just show as gray color. Okay, so yeah, so we need to remember all functions in exam. I would say that please look at the list functions and printf. Print functions. So they, I think those are some things that you should know. So coming back to the problem.
So print functions, you mean like the format of prints?
Format and things like that, because those are things that you may need. Yeah, so list, dictionary, the utility functions for these things, please remember them. I mean, yeah. Okay, so so basically I want something that essentially does this. So there is a secret word and there is a guess that the user is inputting, and I'll go position by position and I'll check if they are the correct letter in the correct place, I'll show green. If they are if the letter that the user guessed is somewhere in the string, but it is not in the correct position, yeah, it's a famous game these days. So if the letter is there but it's not in the correct position, it will show as orange, and otherwise it is just gray. Okay, yeah, you can run your code only on the portal.
Yes. So yeah, as I told, right, you cannot go to the other tab. So
you cannot go. You cannot change the tab. Otherwise, it will show as violation.
That will be recorded in CR.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope the question, I hope the problem that I'm trying to do is is clear. It's a very simple game. I have a secret word and the user guesses that, and depending on the condition. Okay, so the code is that I have a function called check guess, and what I'll do is I have a list of lists called result. This result will say that for each position, what is the guessed character and whether it is correct or not. Okay. Now, so basically I'll initialize a result, and then initially all the guesses are blank and they are all gray. Now the user has guessed a string called guess. Okay. So for C in guess string, I will basically add.
Gray is the string or gray is the color?
Gray is gray is the string. I mean, Python has a GUI capability, but I will just print it as gray. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You can, using Python, you can easily import a library and actually show the colors. But this one, I am just saying that I'll just, if it's a gray color, I'll just show it as gray.
String will be there.
Yeah. Okay. So for C in guess string, so oh, why? Okay. Yeah, for C in guess, result I0 will be C, and then I equal to I plus 1. So this is just initializing. So initially, I'll copy all the characters into the into the result array, and then I will check are the conditions true. So if the user has the correct letter in the correct position, so if guess string I, I think I should call this guess. So if guess I equal to secret I, that means that the user has guessed the correct letter in the correct position. So that position will be marked as green. Otherwise, if the guessed character is somewhere in the string, then I will show that that letter corresponding letter will be displayed as orange, and then return the full results. Like for this position, this is the guessed character, and it is green or orange or gray. Okay, so that's what this function is doing. Now the main code is basically user is inputting a string, and then you call our function check guess on guess string and print the result. So currently I will exit after the first try. Okay, so let me try running this, and okay, so the secret letter, the secret word was basically lemon, and let's say that I instead type melon. Okay, so M is somewhere in the word, so it is orange. E is in the correct position, so it will be green. L is not in the correct position, but it's somewhere in the word, so it is orange. O and N are in the correct position, so it will be green. Okay.
So for example, breaks comes out of the loop, like break command stops the loop, but exit command stops the execution of the whole program.
Of the whole program, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that this is why I'm saying this is that it's a very nice tool to pinpoint errors. So if you have like a 7-line program, and then you can and you don't know which line caused the error, then you can always let's say put it after the exit after the first line. It runs okay, fine. Then put it after the second line. Okay. So that way you can say that, okay, the fourth line is the line that is causing my problem. So let me try to find what's wrong there. So that itself is a big help, actually. Okay, so now let me just remove the exit. Okay, so let me run the code. Okay, so I'll just comment my. Okay, so the run, the full game, if you have played it, you are allowed 4 or 5 guesses. Okay, and the point of me showing that is that you can take a look at the loop structure. Okay, so if you have played Wordle, it gives you like 4 or 5 chances in order to guess the word. Okay, so here I'll give like 3 chances. So what you do is you can write a while loop where you repeatedly call the user function, the check guess function. So basically you can keep a guess count equal to 1. And while guess count is less than or equal to 3, you will keep prompting the user for another guess. So you will say, okay, what is the input? Store it in guess string, check the guess, and print the result. So the result will contain maybe a few green positions, a few orange positions, and a few gray positions. Now, after printing, you have to check whether the user got it correct or not. If the user has got the correct string, then there is no point in giving the user again any chance, right? So the user has already solved the problem, so the game stops there. So that I can have a small flag kind of logic. So basically, I'll keep a variable called correct answer. Initially, correct answer is true. and then I will check whether all characters are marked green. So basically what this is doing is for I in range 5, if any character is not marked green, then the guess is not fully correct. So correct answer is false, and then I will break the loop. So if the loop ran completely without any break, then that means that all characters were marked green. Okay. So if a loop ran completely without getting into this correct answer equal to false logic, then that means that all the characters are marked green. And if correct answer is equal to true, then the game is over. You don't have to ask for any more guesses. So you break out of the loop. So the game is over. Otherwise, guess count equal to guess count plus 1. And if guess count is less than 3, you ask the user again. Okay. So this is how the entire, the logic is the same, but you're wrapping the logic inside a loop so that you can repeatedly ask the user for input until a certain number of guesses are obtained. Okay, so the way, so I removed the earlier exit condition and I've brought it back to the original code where it's the full code. Oh, sorry. So let me just run it in the shell. Yeah. So I'll, type 5-letter word lemma, and then I got that L is in the correct position, E is in the correct position, M is in the correct position, and others are wrong. Okay, so I have a gray and an orange. So I something. Okay, so I try something else, and then it gives you that these are the results of the guess. And it so turned out that my the third guess was correct. Okay, so then all three are green. And the way I have coded it, because inside the loop, it checks whether any guess is actually all green. If any guess is all green, it will exit the loop and will no longer ask for any more guesses. So suppose my first guess itself is correct. It just says everything is green, and then it will not prompt the user for any more. So this is a very small list program. All it showed are a few things. I did not have to use any standard list library functions, but it did use iteration. It used the for loop using the range. And similarly, this is the for loop which does not use the range. This has also been covered in one of the lectures. You need not have a for loop that goes over range 0 to 5 or something. So you can directly say for C in guess, result I 0 equal to C, I equal to I plus 1. Okay, so yeah, and then it also shows while loop. So yeah, so the purpose of the course is to get you to a place where you can write code. This is not complicated code. And by the way, in fact, actually, this is more or less the entire code that is required for running the Wordle program. All you need is to, have a mechanism to generate secret words. That's about it.
Oh, one question. May I ask?
Yeah, sure.
So if you want to paste the definition, we have written a code for function. For pasting the definition, whether it is giving the correct result or not, where the string should be given, in the beginning or in the middle or in the last?
No. So
because return
you cannot, so you cannot put an input. In fact, all the programming questions that I saw, you are asked only to write a function.
Yeah,
okay,
I got that. But in the code, but when we are practicing somewhere, then I am pressing the problem to suppose I am putting in roughly. I want to paste the function, whether I have written it correctly or not. Then where we should put in the beginning of the definition, after that the definition, because the function will work after writing the function. Then we can then after we can call the function.
So are you talking about programming exam or in general?
In general.
In general, see, in general, for example, in Replit, for example, you can type input, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one way to do it. Another way is, see, so these are the things that, oh, okay. Can I just, it might take some time, but I'll just see one way you can, suppose you have written a code, okay,
yeah.
And then you want to generate, you want to test it in some sense.
Yes, that's the one to test.
Okay, you can write. So, for example, this is a very dumb, stupid way to do it, but it works. Okay, I mean, don't do it in some company setting or something.
Okay,
but,
no, just we are learning.
So basically, you can just say, check yes, Satya, my name, and oh, okay, just. Okay, just do this. Okay, this is a very, very stupid way to do it. But actually, there are industry practices which are similar to what I'm doing here. It's called unit testing. Okay, so let me just, so now you don't have to write anything or input anything on the screen. You just have to run the code. Okay, so let me just, oh, by the way, it's not, okay, so I should say result equal to and print result. Okay, so I mean, what I did was very simple. Okay, but what you're see, our work is usually focused on the function that check guess. Okay, sometimes we may have some logic error there.
Your screen said please what result came. The screen.
Yeah. So basically, let me just.
What happened with that?
So usually what we are, our work is focused on this. This is where we will be mostly working. This is the, the core logic of the program.
Yeah.
And maybe we have made some small logical error there. But for every change, so suppose I change the line and now I want to test whether everything is working fine. Yeah. What I can do is, even before, and this is something that people do in practice in the industry, even before writing the function, you can say that here are the test cases I will test. Okay, and those test cases are automatically there. So whenever you make a change in the function that you're actually coding, you just run the code, and these test cases will automatically be executed. And then you can see like what are the inputs and what are the results. So this why this is helpful is because it saves a lot of time. Okay, you can focus mainly on the logic of your function. Okay, because if you run it manually, then every time I have to do like what I was doing, I have to type lemon, melon, and all that. Here, the logic of the code is logic of the test case is already there in the code.
Okay, you put in the code at the last.
Put it at the last. Okay. There are other please look up the so this is just it's not meant for everybody, but for somebody
just for learning in the beginning we are no problem.
Please look up the concept called unit testing. Okay.
Sir, could you just show the Wordle code once, just for the orange logic?
For the orange.
Yeah, like
for orange. For orange, I'm just using in. That's a good question. This one, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is just looking for
What if a character appears twice?
yeah. So
Give it orange?
so I have added that as an assumption. If you want to now, I'm not sure what actual Wordle does when a character appears twice.
Sir, because let's say L is in the word, like, but there is no second L. The second L will come as green. That's what it is.
Oh, I see.
Like that. So
Yeah, so
just
I have
want to
not added that logic into this program. Here I've assumed explicitly, and I've written as a comment also that no character occurs multiple times in the secret. So that way I can have the logic to be very simple. So I can just have guess in secret. So if it occurs somewhere in, yeah, if it occurs
So I
somewhere,
have one
yeah.
question. So I didn't understand the exit properly. So could you please reiterate it for me?
Exit is very straightforward in the sense that wherever I write it, suppose here I write exit. Only code, sorry, I shouldn't write exit one. I should just write exit with brackets. Wherever I write exit, the code will just stop there. Okay.
So I tried writing in one of the code, then it is not running properly. That it is not giving the desired output.
No, what do you mean? What is the output that you decide? So that's the question, right? So I think I don't remember whether it was you who asked the question. Somebody asked the question like, how do I make sense of error messages? Okay. And what I was trying to explain is that when you try to figure out error messages, the first thing is to understand where the error is coming from in your code. Okay. And in order to isolate that error, you can put these exit statements one after the other. So exit will actually stop the program there. So if you run the program and it exited without any error, that means that the first line was okay. Now you move it to the second line. If it ran without any error, then you know that first two lines are okay. So that way exit will help you to figure out that, okay, fourth is the line 4 is where the error is coming from. And then you try to figure it out. Yeah.
Okay, sir. That means in a crux, we can say that exit just exits the program up to that line.
Up to that line. Up to that line.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is mainly helpful when you're debugging your code.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
If I could ask, for the programming exam coming up, right?
Yeah.
Do we know how much time we're expected to have per question?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That there are 90 minutes and 4 questions. So you can say like 22.5 minutes per question. And the questions are of similar difficulty. So I don't think there's one question that is substantially tougher than the others. So you can say that roughly 20 minutes per question.
Only 4 questions will be there in the exam.
4 questions, and so roughly 20 minutes per question, right? Yeah. Plus, debugging time and so on.
I have one more question about the note taking, right? Like during the exam, are we allowed to have an A4 size piece of paper or a notebook in front of us?
Well, blank sheets, yes, but I don't know the policy about written cheat sheets. So Ram can comment on that.
I think the proctor will first check whether the sheets are really blank or not. In my case with SCT, the proctor checked are your sheets really blank or not.
So in the opening, we just hold up the sheet of paper and demonstrate that it's blank on both sides.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
So you're allowed, rough sheets to work on, but not cheat sheets with library functions or something written on it.
Basically, you do not require the cheat sheets at all because the code is like not that difficult at all, and you do not need any specific function. You just need like normal functions like split and basic list functions at all. So
yeah. So please listen carefully. We are giving you hints in the sense that we are almost explicitly saying please look at list functions and dictionary functions. The standard ones, not really difficult ones. So things like finding an element, similarly split, those kind of functions are the ones that you need. We're not saying that, memorize the entire library or something. So code that, functions that you have already seen in the code that in the course, those are the ones that you will need.
Sir, will be able to test run the code in between the exam?
No, the way you test run the code is to submit the code, and then you will know the result. Because as far as I know, the main logic of the code is not given to you, right? You just have to write a stub, a template function. Ram?
So you will be like, you need to write the logic. So the kind of like the outline will be given to you, like you need to function, then the outline will be given to you. But in the logic for the function you need to be ready. Okay. And you will have this test run where testing this for this public test cases. In the submit, it will be for this private test cases, just like the portal which you are seeing, right? For GRP and PPA, same exact thing. Okay.
Can we also like resubmit the same question multiple times to make sure we get 5 out of 5?
Yeah, you can. And I encourage I encourage you to submit early, rather than wait for the 89th minute and then mark submitted.
Yes, sir. Sir, will the weightage be slightly higher towards the weeks 5, 6, and 7? Because 1 to 4 were covered in the theory quiz.
That I don't know.
Yes, so it's kind of like that, right? Because it's kind of like easy. They did not cover like too many.
They don't have a lot of concepts. So yeah.
So from week it will be like you'll have, so whatever question unit functions list and all that you do. So
so the way to think about it is that you're writing code now, so you can use all facilities that have been covered until now.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So if we are not given the test run tab, so how will check that at what point we are making errors and what's the mistake?
So that's what in this exam, this exit strategy is not really feasible. I'm talking about programming in general, because in this program thing that you're basically asked to write only a template function. So there, this exit strategy is not really feasible. So one thing you can try is try to insert print statements, but in this code, I think you just have to figure out the logic and then submit it. And if it's not, if all the cases are not passing, then try to figure out which cases are passing and what is the remaining case that they are testing for.
But sir, can't we test run the cases?
You can resubmit multiple times. It will tell you how many cases have passed. It will tell you which all public test cases have passed and all that. So based on that, which are passing and which are failing, you can figure out what the test cases are testing for.
But like, sir, in our dashboard, we are having the sample test cases, and we can know the actual errors at what point and at what lines we are making mistakes. So like in test run, we can see the public test cases and check out our errors. But if we are submitting in OPPE, then how will find that errors and that samples?
I don't think you can do. You can find it. It will just tell you how many private test cases have passed and failed. Ram, am I right?
Yeah. So you're like, when you submit, yes, it is the same way. But when you do this public test cases testing, right? So it will show you the if there are errors, it will show you the line where you get the errors. It's exactly PPs and GRPs. Just like you're getting these errors, right? And the difference between the actual output and the expected output, you will see the exact same thing, so that you can know at what line you're facing error, and like what's the difference between the outputs, and like what you can do to it. Based on
So sir, we are going to get the samples also.
Yeah. So sample public test cases, yes.
Yeah. So sir, same as the GRPs. What we are. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So two people have raised their hand. One is Punnadityan. Are you there?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
is the grading proportional to the private test cases we pass, or is
Yeah, I think it is proportional to the number of private test cases you pass.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have passed 5 out of 6, you will get the corresponding marks. So maybe Krishna Mohan.
Sir, is copy and paste allowed inside the?
I don't think so.
Inside the only that tab, yes, it is allowed, but outside the right, like
Only inside the tab. Like sometimes we need to.
That is allowed. Yeah, if there are two similar
instead of
lines.
writing the entire code once again.
Yeah,
that consumes time also.
Yeah,
if there are two similar lines, you can do.
Sir,
When we'll get the link for the mock.
Sir, just yes, sir, just to remind, we are not getting link.
Okay, so
sir, how many questions in total?
How many questions in that?
Just
how
to,
many
coding questions?
we got a link. We got a link at 3:52.
How many
Just check the mail.
questions?
Four questions in the exam. 4 questions, roughly of equal difficulty. So you can assume like equal time for all of them. Around, that's what I'm saying, around 22.5 minutes.
Sir, one last doubt. So when we are
And
writing,
just one more doubt is,
can we check the internet, or we'll have to stay on?
No.
Okay.
so like in IDE, do we have while we are coding, like in any IDE, can we use this, or does it allow the option of autocomplete, or just check the methods of any variable?
So
data type.
I don't know about this, because that Ram can probably comment on this.
So this auto compilation and everything, that won't work. Okay, so it won't be suggesting you the methods and everything. So whatever you're seeing in the portal, it's the exact same thing, right?
Okay.
Just like you have done the coding for GRPs and PPS, you'll be doing it for this exam. Okay.
Okay.
Everything is the exact same. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Shivansh.
Hello.
Shivansh.
Yes, sir. I was asking, can we use built-in functions like sum, max, min in the exam?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Same as NumPy.
And do we have any?
Not NumPy.
Hello.
For matrix, if NP is used
for extra questions we solve, or we just have limited questions this time?
Sorry, I didn't hear it. What is it?
Actually, sir, last time students told me that they had 7 questions and they have to compulsorily solve 5 questions. And for the extra questions they solve, they will get extra points.
No,
So,
here I think there are 4 questions and all 4 are mandatory. So there's no extra credit this time. All 4 are mandatory.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So library functions, like let's say there may be questions on matrix, and if they are
no, we are not.
mentioned.
For the purpose of this exam, matrix means list of lists. Okay, not the NumPy matrix.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Sumit.
Sir, actually, we are not. We did not receive the link actually for the.
I think some people have received the link. Maybe there is there's a queuing system where the emails are being sent out one after the other. Yeah.
Okay, actually, I was looking in the announcement.
Sir, in the link, 2 or 3 links are there for whether for MLT, for Python, for Java. Only one link we have to click for the Python, no?
Yeah.
Others we have to avoid.
Yeah. So Shubhadeep.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, oftentimes, sir, I write 15 or 20 lines code, right? And the error that pops up is line 72. And now I'm totally not aware of what is happening. So how to get past such situation in the exam? Or line 30, right? Because I haven't written that line. So it is all.
No, I don't think you will encounter that.
Okay, because I have
I'll comment on this. So what happens is you're writing only part of the code, right? You're writing only function, right? But what happens is outside it we have this invisible code which has some lines, right? So in total, the number of lines is not exactly the same as what you wrote. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, it might give this error. So basically, what you should be considering is make sure that you're writing a function properly and try to look at that error and try to see like what mistake you have done. Okay, if possible.
Yeah, you can assume that the remaining code is correct. So the error is coming because of some logical issue in your code. Okay, so then you can try to figure out which line is causing the problem. You can assume that whatever is the remaining code that you cannot see, that is correct because it is being used by everybody else also.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So we have received a link for the exam, but there's no Gmeet link or something like that for being proctored.
No, this is just a mock. I don't think there is proctoring for this.
Okay, so we just
there's a WebEx link in the bottom, not Gmeet.
WebEx links for the query if you have any query for the exam.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, Abhijit. Okay, maybe you're not there. Dripto Bhattacharya.
Yes, sir. I was asking that in the mail we have received, there is this thing that it's a TDS or open internet exams. So what does that mean?
Sorry, can you repeat it? TDS?
Yeah, in the mail that we just received, there's this thing that please note that TDS is an open internet exam.
That is data science.
Is that applicable for us?
No, that is data science.
It's not regarding Python.
Okay.
So any other doubt regarding Python because
Mock test. No, sir, now today's mock test.
Okay, yeah. So since you have mock test, I think if you don't have any other questions, we can end this.
Yeah, Abhijit was Abhijit was there, so I think that will be the last question I can take.
So
Yeah.
just one more thing because the mail
Yeah.
come in. So there's
The
they are mentioning the
questions
link.
in mock are really like, will this be the level?
No, so the mock questions are slightly difficult. The actual questions in the quiz it will be like slightly easier when compared.
Like, so to be honest, the questions which I can see are print hello world, print value of 15. Like seriously?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so see that mock questions, the mock which you're seeing in the portal, right? For this mock, it is just to check whether everything is working fine or not. That's it. Okay, that's not the
So
difference.
it's not a proper mock.
No, that's not a proper mock. The proper mock is which you have in the portal.
Okay, for practice.
Okay, fine. Okay.
And
Yeah,
so
I was also like,
Krishnamohan.
Yes, sir. So the other links which says that you could probably look for your answer or something, refer that MLP, is it something like machine learning program or what?
Yeah,
Is it
yes.
the next.
You need not worry about it. Okay?
So ours is only Python, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Abhijit, maybe the last question.
So I actually have a two-part question, but both concerning browsers. So are we required to use any particular browser, Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, anything like that?
I don't think so, but I think Chrome is suggested because from experience, that's the browser that will give you the least amount of trouble.
Yeah, Chrome is suggested, sir. It is written on the
Chrome is suggested.
notification.
Yeah.
The second part of my question was considering extensions, right? Because I have a few, and one of them is to turn the whole screen dark mode and force it on every single website. Will this cause any issues with the proctor?
I think it's better. So one thing you can try to do is create a new user on your machine and log into that user, because then when you open Chrome in that user, usually it will start with a clean profile. So extensions could cause problems. It's better not to risk it.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happening is in portal, after typing all code, when I'm test running, it's saying it's you are unsubscribed to that course and it's going to dashboard. And when I again come to that portal, that code gone.
Yeah. So yes.
What is this? Yeah, I don't know.
So whole code again I need to.
Right. So
It's happening many times.
Yeah, I know. So this is common. So what we search is, if you go back, generally sometimes the code remains okay, and sometimes it won't remain, and the entire code will browse. So what you can do is, once in a while you keep on copying or copying.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's the best option. Okay.
Okay, so it will be like that only, like.
Yeah, so that's a bug in our portal, so it's not rectified. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a question. There's a question. Can we exit the portal after doing those questions? I think you can exit the portal, right?
Yeah. Yes. You can exit the portal, and before you do, just make sure that you inform the doctor that you're done with the exam. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so all the best to everybody, and probably we'll have a live session after the exam so that we can discuss the difficulties that you're having, and so that further on we can make improvements. Okay, so all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
And now the link sent 4 to 6, it will work right now, no, sir?
Thanks. Thank you, sir.
4 to 6 link. We have. Hello.
Yeah, it will work.
It will work right now. 4 to 6 will work, no?
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah. Yes.
Sir, we are showing the mock test very straightforward question. So, is it in same question like in OPP?
So see the question there in the mock, that is check for the environment and everything. Okay. So you need not worry about that. Okay. The questions typically are slightly similar to GRP and the OPP mock problems which you have seen. Okay.
So just for to understand how the OPP exam will be held for this question only for.
Yeah. See, just like how we are saying this GRP1, GRP2 and all, right? It will be in the same manner. Okay.
And sir, we have seen some question in previous mocks, OPP mocks, and the question are not so easy. So we can expect this kind of question in OPP exam.
So can you repeat?
Sir, in the previous mock, we have seen the 5 questions, I think 6 questions in the OPP mock. The question are not so easy and not so very straightforward. It is taking more than 1 hour to solve. So
yeah, this time we have made sure that the questions are cyclone easier side and
anything is not clear for us, like the function. So we are just beginners. So we are getting confused every time, sir. Week 1 to 4, it's kind of the function concept and the so many things, matrix and the other things, which is not very crystal clear to us.
The matrix and others. So in this particular quiz, right, we have mostly avoided the matrix questions, and the matrix, right, you need to practice more. Okay, the matrix, implementing it in using this list of this is really important concept in Python. So keep practicing it, and like over time you'll get better with it. Okay. Like if you have any specific questions, then I can answer in the matrix. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello,
okay,
sir. This
so
is
we
Akshay.
yeah, we have one more session scheduled from 7 to 9. Okay. I'll be adding that session and we'll be discussing the mock problems, and then if you have any specific doubts, we can discuss that. Is that okay?
Okay. Sir, I write
Sir,
to
that
you
session schedule is 7 to 9 p.m. Yes, sir,
yeah, 7 to 9 p.m.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Akshay, maybe last question. I was about to sign off. Akshay is who?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I was not able to attend the ICT session, the system check session and all. So I'm a bit confused about the app which need to install in my system and run background, and which I need to install in my mobile. So if I get some documented thing or something like that,
Can Ram? Can
yes.
you?
I'll do actually. So what happens is you have received the link, right? You have received the mail, right, regarding the instructions of like what needs to be followed on. Have you received the link? First thing is you need to install the SIA. Okay, that link will be given to you. You need to install the SIA and make sure that you have proper internet connection and you have mobile and laptop. Okay, that should be good enough.
Okay.
Okay.
So that link has not come through email.
So others might have received it. So what you can do is you can post it in Discourse and then someone will be like pasting the link there. Okay, that is already present there. One student has posted it, but you can still post the question, and I'll be replying there. Okay, the link I'll be pasting it there.
Where it is? Where I need to post that?
Discourse forum we have, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there. Yeah. Okay, so thanks everyone.
Okay, so I will leave now, and if there's anything, please let me know. Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks everyone, and see you at 7 o'clock session today.
Sir,
Yeah, Akash.
I had a doubt in that. I wanted to ask, can we finish that mock early and leave?
Yeah, make sure that everything is working properly, okay? And go to the
So because I have a college exam today at 5:30, that's why I'm asking.
Okay, then you can leave. Yeah. This is
Ram
not
sir. Ram sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I think those mock questions are being updated in that supplementary content, right?
Yeah.
But that link is not opening. I'm getting a continuous message that your account so and so is giving an exam and you are not allowed to change browsers. However, link is not opening.
Right. When you are giving the exam, you won't be able to access the portal.
That link is not opening, na?
Yeah, that's all. When you are like trying the exam now, you won't be able to access the portal.
See, I am getting this error. I am pasting it here. I'm pasting it here. I'm getting this. I'm getting it this error. The link has not opened. However, I'm getting this error continuously.
Yeah. So yes. So whenever you give the exam, right, and you're trying to switch tabs, then you'll get this error. Okay. Okay. So thanks everyone, and see you at some. And if you have doubts, we can discuss that. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, Mohammed.
Sir, after finishing the exam, we just need to close that tab, sir.
You need to inform the proctor first, and proctor will be telling you what needs to be done once you finish the exam. And once the proctor says that you are good to go, then you can leave.
Okay, sir. So during the exam, it is like that. Now, for mock, we just close the tab, sir.
Yeah. For mock, you need not worry. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Excuse me, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, there's a query in the DM. Can you please take a look? Or should I repeat it here?
Okay, so please repeat that. I lost it.
I have a good internet connection, but still sometimes what happens is video starts to reconnect, and it is mentioned that if the video reconnects multiple times during the OPP, then the exam will not be counted. It will be terminated. So is there any alternative to that? Can I do something to assure that while my video is reconnecting, I'm doing fair?
Yeah. So are you using your Wi-Fi or like broadband or mobile?
It's air fiber broadband.
Okay, it's broadband, right? And do you have mobile network?
Sorry?
Do you have mobile network plan, data plan?
Yes, I have, but it's still sometimes it does bad. It reconnects multiple times.
Right. So what I would say is have both. Okay, like since you'll be connecting it from mobile phone and the Google Meet, right? Make sure that you have broadband connection and you keep the mobile data on, so that in case you loses broadband data, right, you'll be connecting it through mobile data. Okay. So yeah, other than that, we cannot do much at this point. Okay?
Just for the safe side, is a recorded video all right in case my internet keeps on acting weird?
Keep your
is a recorded video acceptable in case?
Yeah. The recorded video is acceptable. Okay, but still, that is for if CI is not working. But for you case, right? The mobile phone Google Meet should always be there. Okay, there is no alternative to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks everyone. See you at 7 o'clock session.